Here's an article that I had to share with you guys that came across my desk. I was reading the New York Post and I came across this article. Now, this is an old article. It's new, but it's old because it was November 3rd is when this article actually came out. And as you can see from the title, it says, social worker accused of keeping mental patient as sex slave. Social worker accused of keeping mental patient as sex slave. Now, as you see this face, the smiling face, now I made a joke and I said the reason why she's smiling and she, her eyes look so bright and lively is because of the fact that she got her something. The young boy is 24 years of age, a black male that had or was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Without giving much of this away, I'm going to read the article. But before I read the article, it's funny that lately with all of the sexual allegations that's coming out in the media, where all of these men are being charged for sexual crimes that allegedly was committed years ago, 20 and 40 years ago. And for political reasons, now it resurfaces and these men are now being punished for these things. Whereas in modern day time, we hear so many females that are school teachers, that are married, have husbands and boyfriends, that's it from their 20s on up, that's molesting children, elementary school level, and not much punishment is done to them. These are the females that we don't hear about while they're going after these men, making men look like predators. Because notice, all of these sexual scandals that's coming out, you have women that's gang stalking men. All of these females coming out saying, he did it to me too, he did it to me too. They did it with Bill Cosby on up. And from that point on, it seems like every time somebody's accused with sexual allegations, they're gang stalked by multiple women that come forward saying, it happened to me too. Years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. Okay? So, but it's quite interesting that this woman now, a social worker, and I'm going to read the story on this, and I think it's interesting, and I think I'm going to also do a video later on titled, basically a video to white women on how to get a black man. Now, I know that's going to upset a lot of people. But I think in the case of this woman here, now, she's white. She looks white. A lot of people refer to her as white. But after doing further investigation, this is a Native American woman. Says she was of a Native American descent. Okay? So this Native American woman, which in fact, she's now a Hebrew Israelite. Okay? For you brothers out there that want to call me a coon or call me different racial names, she's a Hebrew Israelite because she's Native American. Okay? So she's a sister. So this woman right here, this smiling woman that's got light in her eyes, 53 years of age, got her some, from a young black male, 24 years of age, that allegedly had a mental issue, right? Now, this, to me, there's a lot of holes in the story here because I think this is a thing where the young man is being coached by his mother, because you know how black males are when it comes to their moms, I mean, this is a relationship. This is something that was going on for like 3 years. There were text messages and emails for 3 years, right? And all of a sudden now he wants to lawsuit. He wants to, file a lawsuit, okay? And it has to go in his name because he's 24 years of age, okay? But I'm jumping ahead of myself. But I'm going to do a video and instruct white women how to get a black man, because I think there's a lot of white females out there that's curious. They have this fantasy to be with a black man, but for whatever reason, they are afraid. It could be because of the fact that they could have a husband, a boyfriend, or their family might not even approve. So you see these like underhanded hand smiles, and they'll smile at you with their eyes when you're walking by. They can be with their husbands. But when you walk by them, they look at you and they get this smile, this flirtatious smile with their eyes that men can see, right? And you wonder why you have men that will pursue you knowing that you're married, knowing that you have a boyfriend, and you'll say no. But you know why he's pursuing you. But you have some females that want to feel good to know that you got all these men, and they do it on Facebook. Females do it all the time on Facebook, where they would wear these skimpy clothes. They would show off their butt, their breast. They like height their breasts up, height them up, you know, where they looking like two big balloons sitting there, and then they get all of these inboxes and these guys, and then they'll take the same messages that these guys send them, they will put it publicly and say, oh, these dudes are thirsty. They coming at me, but look how you dressed and look how you carrying yourself. Okay, so now you want to play the victim and tell all these guys to get out your inbox, but yet you dress half naked, drawing these guys in. So that's the same way as with females like this. These white females that, you know, give these guys these flirtatious stares and smiles, and then when the guys pursue you, then you want to say like, I'm married, and you know, these black guys are all on me, and these black guys are trying to talk to me, and I'm married. But we read about you later on in the media that now you're seducing, you know, mental patients. Or like a lot of these girls that's 26, 27 years old, beautiful young ladies, got husbands at home. You mess with 12-year-old boys, getting pregnant by 12-year-old boys, feeling that you're in love with these 12-year-old boys because you have a hidden fantasy, a desire. And maybe when you work in the school district, it takes your mind back to when you were young, because you don't forget nothing. We all know that smell when we walk inside a school. It smells like spoiled cafeteria milk, right? We all know that smell, you know, or chalk or something. You know, we walk inside the school, you know it's an elementary school. You know, you don't forget that smell because at one time you were elementary school level. So I don't think adults really forget that. So when you have these teachers or administrators that's working in the school district, it's easy for their minds to go back if they don't have control. It's like PTSD. You know, your mind will automatically go back because you see these same kids every day in and day out. You see nothing but kids. And as time go on, your mind start playing tricks with you. And you forget that these are kids because that's all you see. And it takes your mind back subconsciously back to when you were in school. But that's way off my topic. That's way off my topic. It didn't mean to go there. Okay. But this female here, she's the kind of female that does that. She have hidden desires to be with a black man. Okay, and as you read the article, you're going to see where I'm coming from. Okay, she's got a hidden desire. So I'm going to do a video and teach white women how to approach a black man, because maybe it's the dude's looks. He looked like a big, scary black man, so you're afraid to be rejected by this black man. But I'm going to tell y'all something. You'd be surprised at the number of black men that want a white woman, that have the same desires and feelings that you have, right? Even if they come under ghost accounts, and that's why they come under ghost accounts. Talking about black power and Black Lives Matter and calling other black people coons, but at the same time, in the dark, behind closed doors, they got them a snow bunny, all right? So, and that's how it is with a lot of white females. A lot of white females want their chocolate bunny, but they want him in the dark. You know, of course, you want Todd. You know, you want Todd that's making the money. That's the doctor or the lawyer. You know, you want Todd, okay? Because Todd is a good man at home. He takes care of the home, okay? You want that executive, that Todd executive. But you also want Tyrone in the hood, okay? And there's different type of black men, so you have to decide what type of black men you want. Either you want Tyrone in the hood, or you want your Todd black man. You know, somebody who, but yet Todd Black Man still got a little Tyrone in him because he was in the hood. He came up in the hood. So he may be educated and, you know, speak with some type of intellect and whatnot and carry himself well. And he speaks well, as you say, right? But when it comes down to it, if somebody look at you wrong, Tyrone is going to pop up in him. You know, you're going to see a different Black Todd, right? So I'm way off the topic, right? But I'm going to read this article. I'm going to also put it on the bottom. You guys can read it for yourself, and then you can feedback and tell me what you think. But it says, an Illinois social worker seduced and kept a 24-year-old patient as a sex slave at a mental institution, according to a federal lawsuit. Now, how can she keep a 24-year-old patient? A black male. And later on in the article, you're going to see what I'm talking about, right? Now, I think these are two consenting adults. I think that she had the privacy. I don't know if they met some other place or if it was just her office, because if this is a mental institution, she's got her private office, and her secretary is not just going to walk in there because of HIPAA law. You know, the patient's privacy, you know, is protected. So she already know that once they close that door and says, I'm going to be in here with a patient, they're not going to open that door. They're not going to knock on that door and disturb them. Okay, so she's got the time and the place to do what she want to do. She want to get her something at work. Okay, she want to get her a little something at work. Okay, so Ben Hurt, 24, took legal action. Now, this is where I think it's kind of sketchy, because it says Ben Hurt, 24, took legal actions. After 3 years of the text messages and the emails and the wild sex that they were having, they were in a relationship. All of a sudden now he wants to take legal actions. I think this is his mom's, because from an interview I saw in a video, his mom was talking about my son, and she did this to my son, and my son, I think his mother talked him into this. She pushed him to do this, because even when he was being interviewed, you could see in his eyes that he was lying. He's playing the victim, right? And he had a good time. These two both had a good time. Two consenting adults had a good time doing what they were doing. But the moms talked them in to do that, because you know when it comes to black males, it's like moms can tell them anything, regardless of right or wrong, they're going to do it just because it's mom, right? They calling her God, you know, so they're going to do anything God tell them to do, right? So the mother, his God, talked him into taking legal actions. So Ben Hurt, 24, took legal actions Thursday against one of his former social worker, 53-year-old Christy Linhart, the smiling woman you see right there, okay, who he said sexually abused him for 3 years. For 3 years at the Elgin Mental Health Center. She engaged. Notice they put the blame on her, but then you got women that do the same thing with men. Although this went on for 3 years. You can't keep nobody against their will, and this dude knew exactly what he was doing. He said in one of those interviews, I didn't know what I was doing, right? All right, come on, man. You're 24 years old, 3 years, and you know what you was doing? The text messages and emails and naked pictures, and you didn't know what you were doing? She engaged in all kind of various, not just all kinds, but all kinds of various sexual misconduct. Hurt's attorney told the station, the graphic details are every sexual act that you can imagine. His lawyer claimed that the social worker spent months seducing Hurt starting in 2014. So before they had sex at the state mental institution. She's accused of manipulating and seducing our client repeatedly, and it took her about 4 months until she actually had sex for the first time with him. We have evidence of her perversion, both in her emails to the client, nude photos. Hurt, who was diagnosed with schizophrenia, check this out, pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity in 2014 for battery against a police officer. See, they are milking the system. But I ain't gonna hate the player. I ain't gonna hate the player of the game. They playing the game, they playing the system. Because you got people now that are quick to label somebody as this got a mental issue. They go out and commit a rape or murder, or they got a mental issue. So, and like I said in a prior video, that's giving them a way out, because by law, if they have a good attorney, and if they knew the law, if you have a mental issue and you're diagnosed with a mental issue, you can play that. And that's what these people are doing. They're committing criminal acts and sexual acts and playing crazy. And so they don't go to jail. So where would you rather go? Would you rather go to prison, or would you rather go to a mental institution? All right? So he committed battery against a police officer. The incident landed him at the facility where his mom claims that Linhart would make excuses to extend his stay, right? Linhart would make excuses to extend his stay. Of course, she had the power. She had the paperwork. You know, she knew how to do the paperwork and everything, right? So it wasn't like she was manipulating. He agreed to it, you know. He agreed to it. She gave him some. He liked it, right? They both liked it. He gave her some. She's smiling, and she got lights in her eyes, you know, and his face is lit too. But now he's just got to play the victim role because his mom's talked him into that, and they're going to get paid. Trust me, they're going to get paid on this one. They assured me, this is what the mother's saying, they assured me that they were going to help me with my child. He's a grown man. He's 24 years of age. 3 years ago, he was 21. That's why he's initiating the lawsuit. They have to do it in his name because he's 24. He has to be able to do that himself. Hurt's mom and Danette and whatever that name is, black folk, black females, these names, Antoinette, whatever, D'Antoinette, whatever. Lee told the news, what they did to my son was wrong. Then it says Hurt, who was released from facility, also sued two other psychiatrists. And the center's director for allegedly ignoring the abuse. They are about to get paid. This is a big scam going on. And then it says Linhart was fired from the center in July, but has not been charged with a crime because he's 24. He's an adult. There's two consenting adults. And because of the fact that he's a patient, that's why they're going to get paid. And I wouldn't doubt if she's going to get a piece of the pie, because this is a major lawsuit. I don't think she personally is going to be sued. I think the mental institution is going to be sued, and those psychiatrists and the director. Okay, so they're going for broke, right? And it says Linhart was fired from the center in July, but what has not been charged with a crime. Illinois State Police launched an investigation into the allegations. Now, I'm going to put the article on the bottom and you guys can read it for yourself. But this dude, man, is playing the victim. I ain't mad at him. I am not mad at him at all. But I guarantee you, I wouldn't doubt it if they are still seeing each other on the low. And even after this lawsuit, he's going to continue seeing her, because they were in a relationship for 3 years. She gave him some, he gave her some, they both liked it, And you see in this picture, she's smiling. 53-year-old woman, she got her son. Got her young black buck. So I ain't mad at her. And I ain't mad at him. But I just think that he knew exactly what he was doing. And he's going to play this. I didn't know what I was doing. I just want to go to school and get my education. He's playing the victim, right? Like a lot of females are doing nowadays. And we're going to start seeing more of this stuff starting to pop up now, where you're going to have dudes now, you know. And listen, the females, y'all just opened a big can of worms, man, because now dudes are going to start calling y'all out. You got your husbands at home and you tip it in the dark and you doing little things and you think this man don't know, right? And before you realize it, he's going to be boiling a bunny. He's going to be boiling a bunny, and your husband is going to try to find out, like, what's going on? Why is this man now coming to our house? Why is he targeting our house, right? And your stuff is going to be exposed. So you got to be careful, man, because you call yourself exposing all these guys, man, it's going to come back and bite you. And you're going to get these dudes to start suing y'all, especially when y'all holding a position, right? So check out the article, feedback, tell me what you think, subscribe. Until next time, I'm fearless.